Yo, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Crazy Out Kane, sugarcane.com, CACTV. We're going to talk about those May Bike of the Days and give you the results of the May Bike of the Month 2020. Let's talk about it. May 2020 was an awesome month for the Bike of the Day submissions. All types of bikes, you know, from old school BMX, retro BMX bikes, racing bikes, street bikes, chromoly, aluminum, carbon, and I even had a 24-inch cruiser up in there. All of that was displayed in May. It was a really good month for Bike of the Day. And now, since the month of May is over, we have the results for the Bike of the Month. Which bike was the highest rated? Which bike was the bike that everybody loved the most? It was a tough competition because we had a lot of bikes in there that could have been number one. It was a shuffle between first, second, and third. But before we get into announcing which bike came in first place, let's talk about the bikes in the top four. We're going to talk about the top four bikes, starting with bike number 4. So bike number 4 on the list is this RC1 24-inch cruiser. It's the Opal colorway, the custom Opal colorway that they made for Katie Piatti. She sent this in, and it's just a really nice build. Let's just scroll down a little bit and see some more of the bike. So on all the bikes that are featured on the page, we have lots of different pictures of the bikes from different angles, so you can see the parts, so you can see how the colorway looks, and a lot of the details and work that's been done to these bikes. So that's why I always have people send me a lot of pictures of the bike. I also have people send me the inspiration, and this is Katie's inspiration. So she says, the inspiration for this build comes from my grandmother. She was always my rock. She pushed me to be fearless and never doubt my ability to fly. She always wore Opal. One of my favorite of her Opals was the inspiration for this build. The paint job was something Dayight had never attempted, and they weren't quite sure they could pull it off. But rest assured, they were relentless in fulfilling my desires. And yes, it does sparkle in the sun. So that was her inspiration for the actual colorway for her frame, which is the Opal colorway. And if you know the work that Dayight does, all of their work is top notch. The colorways, the paint schemes is just second to none. You go further down, you see the Opal jewelry that Katie was talking about. That's the inspiration right there, so you can see that. When you scroll down some more, like I said, I have photos, the full parts list, and you can see all the parts that are featured on this bike, like the AB and carbon versus tapered forks, tangent bars, tangent stem, the Dayight carbon tapered headset. A lot of good parts, a lot of details going on here. And as you can see, Katie is national number 4. So shout out to Katie in her cruiser class. I don't know what age group that is, but she is national number 4. NAG 4. So shout out to her. 2019 NAG 4. As we go further down, you see more parts like those disc brakes that she has on the bike and the color scheme that she has there with the purple. It goes really good with the Opal colorway of the frame. Her rating, she had a 9.71 out of 10. She had 26 votes. And her overall color rating from people who came and rated her bike is a 9.67. The overall originality is 9.8. Overall parts, 9.69. Overall style, 9.68. which gives you that total of 9.7. So that's how bikes get rated here. And if you scroll down a little bit more, you can see the actual ratings that people made and how they actually rated her bike. You can give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down. If you liked how they voted or didn't like how they voted, you can put your input there. If we scroll down a little bit further, then you can go to the spot where you can actually rate the bike. So here are the sliders where you can actually rate the bike, and you can rate between 0 and 10. And these are the different criteria, and you get to rate the bike. So that's how you are able to rate bikes on sugarcane.com. So we encourage everybody to come and look at all the bikes and give honest ratings, honest opinions on what they think the bike looks like. On every page that has a bike featured, it has information on how you can submit your bike. So all you have to do is go here to the website and find out all the information that you need to submit your bike to Bike of the Day. And like I've been telling you guys from the start, that we accept all BMX style bikes. That goes from 12-inch, 14-inch, 16-inch, 20-inch, all the way to 29-inch. Flatland bike, old school bike, mid school, new school, carbon, chromoly, aluminum. Please send them. Don't send any stock bikes. I don't want no stock out the box bikes. Any customizations that you put on a bike, that's what we want to see. We go down a little bit further, and we have a little fun section here where you can actually put reaction emoji. And then you can come down a little bit further, and you can leave a comment. So leave a comment, leave your reactions, make a rating, submit your bike, do all of that. Bike number 3 on this list is the SpeedCo Velox Pro, sent in from Jodie Lynch out of Ireland. This bike is really crazy. It has a lot of carbon on it. It's just a bike that's really built to go fast on the track. This bike is amazing. This bike right here, as I said before, is a Velox Pro. And we can scroll down and you can see some photos of the bike. It has some avian cranks on there. It's got disc brakes. It's got carbon rims, the Rlph sprocket, which is dope. Jodie sent us some information about what she's all about. She's a 3-time All-Ireland champion. She's a 3-time Irish national champion, 2-time Ulster champion, currently British national number 6. Her BMX club is the East Coast Raiders. Local track is in Lisburn. Race team DC Cycles. Coach Eric Williams from Horsepower, Speed, and Performance. Sponsors is Landmark Underwriting. You can see the big Landmark sticker on her forks. Max BMX is another sponsor, and Kenny Bike Gear out here in the US. So shout out to Jodie and all of her sponsors and her bike track and her race team and all of that. So big shout out to them. Shout out to Ireland. Shout out to people all over the world that's coming here and checking out sugarcane.com and checking out these bikes for Bike of the Day. I really appreciate you guys doing that. It's just really something really cool that we can all enjoy. So I want to see all bikes from all over. So definitely send them in. I really appreciate it. This bike is sick. Look at the spokes on this bike. She's got like the purple, blue going on with the spokes. Like I said, she has the avian cranks on there. Actually, Jodie's dad, Jeff Lynch, sent us the inspiration. And what he says here is, so the build was my daughter's vision. He was just the one bankrolling the whole build. Nothing really inspired her. She just had a vision of what would look cool and be different at the same time. So she wanted something rigid, light, and fast, which stood out, something different from what was already out there in Ireland. Her favorite color is blue, but also loves the oil slick rainbow parts, so that had to be incorporated into the build. Firstly, she looked at lots of frames and loved the SpeedCo Velox and avian forks to match the build. Went from there using blue components, oil slick spokes, etc., etc., etc. So that's pretty much the inspiration for this build, and the final result is amazing. Really, really nice build. One of my favorite bikes so far this year, actually. We got more images of the bike, and we have the full parts list right here, so you can come to the website, check out all the parts. Definitely come back to the site and check out the parts, and also lots more pictures. So she wound up 3rd place, and she has a 9.73 out of 10. 24 people came and rated her bike. Color had a 9.74 overall. Originality was 9.68. Parts 9.74. And the overall style of this bike is a 9.75. Coming in 2nd place is a 2017 Hutch Trickstar. One of my favorite builds of the year. This bike came at the very beginning of May and set the tone for this bike of the month, bike of the day situation for May. And this bike right here is just incredible. The candy apple red and the gold, the colorway, the matching, the way the colors are put on each component is crazy. From the decals to the paint job to the rims, everything is put in place the right way on this bike. For me personally, this bike is a 10 across the board on all the ratings. It's a 2017 Hutch Trickstar, like I said. It's sent in from Rlph Burkholzer. I hope I'm saying his name right. All of this stuff is just perfectly matched on this bike. And like, if you're gonna do a custom build, man, this right here is top of the line right here for me. I really like this bike. It's a personal favorite. Got like 1,000 views on this thing. It's got that classic Hutch look. And the cool thing about the 2017 is you got that modern technology mixed in with the old school flavor. So it makes that bike even better than it used to be. You know what I mean? So this bike is just sick, man. So let's find out what Rlph's inspiration was for this build. It took Rlph 5 months to get this bike done. It's his personal Trickstar. And what he said is it was a urge to combine the color candy red with 24 karat gold. For one part, it seems fitting. For the others, it is overdone. And for most, it is simply a BMX bike. The old schools between us might not like Rlph much, but I have to say this Rlph also has an allure to it. For me, it is simply beautiful. It's sitting in my living room like an art sculpture, and every day when I look at it, I'm happy. I probably won't ever drive since I don't want the tires to get dirty. He says you can't explain it. It's just simply the passion for BMX. And I have to agree, this bike is a work of art. And I know the feeling of getting a new bike and putting all this work and effort into building it and making it look nice and kind of being reluctant to ride it. And I'm a person who rides. You know, I like to ride my bikes. I like to destroy my bikes. But something that's so much work putting into something that looks so beautiful as that bike, sometimes it's hard to get out there and get it dirty and ride it. And that's what it is, man. You know, the culture of the BMX culture right now has grown to different things. It's expanded. You know, when we were kids, we were coming up doing BMX and we were riding because it was the beginning of it all, you know. And you fast forward 30, 40 years, things have changed, things have expanded. You know, it's not just about racing, it's not just about freestyle, it's not just about doing crazy tricks all the time. It's about the love of BMX, the love of the sport. It's about the art of it all. You know, those bikes back in the 80s were art pieces. You know, it's like moving art. It's like a designer toy in a way. You know, when you put the mags on and do all the different color combinations with the bikes, you know, a lot of guys remember that. And now they're at an age where they can afford to buy the bike. They might not want to ride them. You know, they might not have the tricks they used to have, but they still love the bike. So you got to respect that. You know, you got to respect that. BMX is a lot bigger and it means a lot to a lot of people in different ways. And you have to respect that. It's awesome to see beautiful built bikes, whether you ride them or not. Let's scroll down, man. Look at the details on this bike. Is super clean. Like, I wouldn't want to get this bike dirty, you know, unless I had a second one. If I had a second one built like this, then I would get that one dirty. Look at all the details, and the pictures that he sent were just some incredible pictures, so you can really catch the details. Remember those Hutch pedals? Those things used to tear your legs up if you slipped on them. Gold plated Hutch stem. I mean, come on, man. This bike right here is retarded. So we also have the parts list here, and even have the Hutch dice in there, and his own stand for the Trickstar. His own pro stand. The pull levers look amazing. Everything on this bike just looks amazing. I could sit here and look at these pictures for hours. Let's see what the ratings came in as. So he has a 9.8 out of 10, 38 votes. The total overall rating for color was 9.85. Originality 9.73. Parts 9.79. Overall style 9.83. And this bike was sitting at the #1 spot for a long time for the month of May. But it got dethroned by another bike. So, are y'all ready to find out what bike was the #1 bike for May 2020? I'm sure you are. I'm sure you are. But before we go there, I want you guys to subscribe to this channel. Hit the like button, leave some comments. Also hit that notification button so you know when I post new content. I have a lot more BMX content, more hip hop content. I'm doing parodies again, or maybe at least the old ones, but I'll be bringing those out and you're gonna be seeing some creative stuff happening with that. I'm also gonna be posting more music on the site and you can find out what's going on. But one thing I want to say about this series is I am going to be doing this every month where I announce the bike of the month. So keep sending those bikes in for bike of the day, and the best bike of the day, the top rated bike of the day, will become bike of the month, and I will be announcing that every month. You have to go to sugarcane.com to find out how to get into it. So let's get into this bike, the #1 bike that was featured as bike of the day on sugarcane.com. And here it is, 1986 GT World Tour, sent in by Jason Orlandi. This bike right here is fire. It's got a lot of details, a lot of parts going on there, a lot of different things going on, but this bike was inspired by Eddie Fiola when he went on that UK World Tour and had that red GT with the black mags, and he had the all black GT suit on. That was a sick bike, and I like that outfit that Eddie Fiola had back then too. That was pretty sick. But let's talk about this bike right here. So Jason sent this in to us, and I was just like, man, oh man, this bike is sick. And the people came on the site and they rated this bike, and it's got the top rating for bike of the month. It got 830 views, 11 comments. People were really liking this bike. GT has a really big following, especially the old school GT dudes. They just love those bikes, and they're very active. Whenever somebody posts a GT on the site, they are on top of it. It's got a nice mixture of colors. It's got the red, it's got the white, and it also has some gold on it too. So we have another bike with some gold on it this month. And let's see what Jason has to say about this bike. He says the inspiration was the European Eddie Fiola World Tour bike, used specifically for the European World Tour. Obviously, this is a custom build that is different from the bike used by Eddie. Frame and forks were restored with a 2-stage powder coating on the frame, and I had the front forks re-chromed being they had seen better days. Special thanks to my friend on this build, Timmy Lights Shackney. You are a true innovator in building and blueprinting BMX artwork. Special thanks as well to Chabby, owner of Chabby's Coating in Massachusetts, specializing in gold plating, chroming, and powder coating. So that's what it is, man. There's a lot of people involved in getting this bike done, and it's really cool to hear the background information on how the bike was actually made. That's why I like when people send me the details of the inspiration and how the bike came to be. Look at this right here. They got the red line cranks. It's got the gold pedals. It's got the gold plated sprocket. You got the rear platform on here, which is a really rare piece that's hard to find nowadays. Here goes the parts list on here, so you guys can find out all the parts information on here. A lot of polished parts, a lot of NOS parts on here. Got the white bars, the white GT stem. Lots of NOS going on here. NOS GT freestyle tires, NOS Shimano DX pedals with 24 karat plating. A NOS GTC clamp, which is gold plated. The frame extended with the show chrome on it. A restored GT laid back seat post. The GT powered disc, 24 karat gold plated GT chain ring. 24 karat gold plated GT chain ring bolts. And KMC gold chain. Like, man, a lot of gold there. This bike looks incredible. In this article, I wanted to show you guys, if you're not familiar with Eddie Fiola and his bike from the tour, I actually put the video of one of his competitions he did in the UK when he was riding that special bike. You can see his black uniform that he wore back then. I really loved that uniform that he had back then. That was such a sick uniform with the black and white. Shout out to Eddie Fiola, as a matter of fact. Big shout out to Eddie Fiola, the legend. Eddie Fiola, man. I need to get back out to Cali and link up with him again and do a new interview and maybe do some riding, of course. But let's go and see how his bike got rated. So 9.86 out of 10. He had 58 votes. Overall color result is 9.88. Originality 9.82. Parts 9.85. And overall style 9.87. So people were loving this bike. A lot of people came and rated this bike. So that's pretty much it. Shout out to Jason Orlandi for sending his bike and winning this month, 2020 May. Sugarcane.com bike of the month. Jason Orlandi, shout out to you, brother. I'm going to be sending you a medal for winning. What I'm doing now is I'm giving out medals for everybody who wins for bike of the month. So the number one bike gets a medal, an official Sugarcane.com medal for winning bike of the month. I think he told me he had more bikes he's going to send me. He has more bikes in his stock, so I want to see what kind of bikes he's going to send next, because if they're anything like this, man, it's going to be a heck of a month. Definitely, if you have a stash of vintage bikes, a stash of any bike, BMX style, that you want to send in, make sure you send them, man. But it's up to the people to rate the bikes and give their honest opinion on what the bikes are. So that's what it is. It's not my opinion of the bike I think should win number one. It's just about what the people who come to the site and participate in the ratings, it's up to them to decide which bike wins. So that's it, y'all. That was the May 2020 bike of the month results. And now we're in June. So make sure you send your bikes. Send those bikes in. Email me all the information and details about your bike so I can feature them on sugarcane.com and find out whose bike will win bike of the month for June 2020. All right? So this is Crazy Out Kane, sugarcane.com, CACTV, and I'm out. Back to you, Billy.